The problem is access. I agree that if I've met guys who are awesome dudes who are in incredible shape, tremendous leaders, highly intelligent, but because the way the world is set up right now, their access to meeting women that they want to be with is greatly reduced. If you go through with this, the level of disillusion you are about to come, you're be like, yo, you're gonna be like,
I'm gonna prove you wrong. You have to share it on your show.
Dude, I've been sharing this for 18 years.
But you're getting a different opinion.
What I'm saying is when the studies come out that 63% of men under the age of 30 are single, but like 31% of women are single, that shows me that these women are choosing a small group of men. They are. But so that means mathematically the average guy is not getting chosen.
Hold on. How does the math, if there's 50-50 men to women, how does that math play out?
Women are dating men over 30, or they're dating multiple women are dating the same man.
Multiple women are, that would be the only path.
If a woman's 25 dating a guy who's 35, then that means she's in a relationship even though she's under 30. And
so what was the stat again?
63% of men under the age of 30 are single, but only about 30% of women.
So because the women are dating older men.
Or they're sharing one man. But hold on. But if that is true, then how does the average man fare? Not very well. The whole issue is, going back to what I said before, if you have these women that are choosing men who are either older or they're sharing multiple men, that means the average guy is not faring very well in the sexual marketplace right now. And his response is, well, if I just train them and tell them a couple things, well, then they're not average anymore. He's saying that it's men's fault. I don't think it's anyone's fault. I think it's a function of Charles Darwin. It's just a function of evolution. What's happened is we're in an evolutionary mismatch. What happens whenever you take some Inuit Indians, or if you take some ancestral tribe and you give them McDonald's, they all end up with diabetes. There's a great book on this by Jared Diamond where he goes over this concept because it's an evolutionary mismatch. You took people from an ancestral environment where they were food scarcity and you gave them unlimited food. You do the same thing with women who have this idea of hypergamy and you give them unlimited options on social media, you create a problem. You do the same thing with men and you give them unlimited sexual, non-contextualized images through pornography, you create an evolutionary mismatch. That's what's going on. It's no one's fault. I didn't say it's anyone's fault.
I think it's Satan's fault.
But the idea, but this prescription and the solution that I've said before is, like I said before, with men, I think the best way to level up, along with actually making more money, the best way to level up is to be the leader of your social group. I think the most underrated skill set for men to be able to find an amazing woman is leadership, is being able to lead. And that is something that is being morbidly lost. And in fact, if you are a man being taught to lead, it is seen as misogynistic by the left. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, not only is there so few dating advice that's actually good for men that's out on the internet, because most of it's ratioed, it's that the dating advice that they're getting to be more sensitive to women that they just met is terrible dating advice.
Yeah, more submissive.
I will be absolutely open and vulnerable to people who've earned it. People who I served with in the military, people who I've been friends with for 10 years. I'm not going to be open and vulnerable to people who haven't earned it. I just don't think that that's the way for men to be, because again, in the situation, whenever I was in the airplane, I was in an airplane like 3 times when it caught on fire, and when I was in the military, and it was never a situation where when the airplane caught on fire, I would sit there and tell the pilot, I was like, hey, the airplane's caught on fire. Let me tell you how I feel about it. You know, like, let's go over my feelings, and I need mental health today. I was like, let's get the fucking fire extinguisher. Let's put out the fire. Right. I do think men need a certain level of stoicism that's being lost on them. And that stoicism is an attractive masculine quality that men have.
Emotional.
Correct.
I say that all the time.
So the issue is men are being taught that there's a male loneliness epidemic because men aren't sensitive enough. No, there's a male loneliness epidemic because men are too sensitive.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I tell these guys every day they're soft. And I'm just like, bro, nobody cares how you feel. Okay. Like, your job doesn't care how you feel. You either produce or you don't. Like, your kids. Okay. If I'm going to go be a good dad today, I get to come home. No matter what happened here at work today, it's irrelevant how I feel. I get to choose whether I'm going to be a good dad when I get home or not. I get to choose whether I'm going to serve my wife or not, regardless of how I feel. And I learned that in pro sports. It was just like, you learned in the military. It's like, bro, this terrorist does not care if I slept bad last night or any, like, I'm just going to go and perform. It's just a very binary choice. Perform or don't perform. Like, how you feel doesn't really matter. Not enough men understand that. They want to make excuses. Oh, freaking, this happened to me. And I think, to your point, they have more and more excuses. Oh, well, I don't even have a choice because of this girl. It's like, bro, I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care. Like, it sucks that this way, but perform or don't perform. Level up or shut up. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. And I think most men, my solution is, if you grow a relationship with God, that will mean you will start to take care of your body. That means you will be more productive. That means you will be in the right social
You'll be a better leader.
You'll be a better leader. If you be more like Christ, you will have all the things you need to find the right partner.
Yeah. Maybe. The problem is access. I agree that if I've met guys who are awesome dudes who are in incredible shape, tremendous leaders, highly intelligent, but because the way the world is set up right now, their access to meeting women that they want to be with is greatly reduced.
I disagree.
Because of Zoom and because of social media, because of dating apps.
But I agree that like your circle matters because let's say, okay, the average guy right now is listening. He's like, Brian, I'm going to do what Brian says. I'm going to level up.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to start wholesaling.
Yep.
I'm going to
Go to
get
church.
on peptides. I'm going to just start leveling up. So this guy levels up, right?
Yeah. Golf game.
But he's still, I know,
300.
it's funny. You're like, social circles matter. I'm like, that's why I made him 19.
Yeah.
You know, like, but not for women, just for guys. But anyways, I was like, but still that guy then has to find the girl, right? Like, so how do you find the girl? Okay. So now you yourself individually have leveled up, but now you still got to go hunt.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to hunt on dating apps, if you're not going to, you know, you don't want to meet them at a bar, like, you know, all the things. So you do need to like get a new circle to find the women at that point.
Yep. Exactly. So that's why I was saying before, it's not just that they're in shape, make a bunch of money, follow God, and are
That's
intelligent.
step one.
That's step one.
Step two is now you got to go hunt.
The main thing I teach men that differentiates me from other people is other coaching courses like mine is I teach access. How do we gain access? And by the way, it's not just with dating. How do we gain access to backstage at the 10X conference where they're inviting us to speak? How do we gain access to different conventions? How do we gain access to different employers, different employees? How do we gain So access is one of the main things that I teach because the world is not a meritocracy. I wish it was, but it isn't. People get hired because they know someone else, and knowing that other person gives you far more of an advantage than how good you are at your job. So that's the only thing I think is missing is access. That's the main thing I teach.
I agree. Would you agree with that, Brian?
Networking, yeah. Networking is very important.
As the great Brad Lee said when he was
network is your net worth.
Yep.